In Nations the Dice Game, we will take a nation from the humble beginnings of civilization through the historical ages of progress. We will provide food as the population increases, build a productive economy, and amaze the world with our great achievements to build up our heritage as the greatest nation in the history of mankind. Will we succeed or fail trying? We'll see when we get back. Roll the intro. What am I holding? Alright folks, welcome back. So today we're going to play through Nations the Dice Game. So with all of the solitaire games out lately, who has time to play them all? But with something like Nations the Dice Game, this is essentially a civilization building game in a box with dice. Plays extremely fast. You can get through a game of this in, well, I guess you'll see how long this video is. So probably 30 minutes, maybe, if you really push through it. So I'll go through the rules, as we go, and I'll sort of speak through what we're doing here. So I've chosen to start with Rome. In this game, it really doesn't matter who you start with. They give you 4 different nations to be: Persia, Greece, or Egypt, or Rome. Basically, they're all the same. So I've not seen any difference. Nobody has any special abilities or skills. Maybe that's something for down the road that they'll put into an expansion, but that's essentially it. So the board is set up. I've got my victory point tracker, and essentially I'm just going to play the game for points. I'm not really playing against anyone. There's I guess sort of, not really a bot or a computer, but there's really no AI. The opponent's really just going to roll this D4 every turn to see what developments he's going to basically pull off the board, as if it was somebody drafting it. So we are going to compete for books, so we both start at 1, and we'll go from there. So we start the first stage. So the first thing I do is I pull this tile. This is sort of like the mission tile. So what this is telling us is at the end of the round, in order to satisfy the famine, or for food, feed your people, you need at least 1 food, you'll get a victory point. To satisfy the war requirement, you need at least 1 sword, and you'll get 1 victory point. So that's pretty basic. That goes up here. Whenever you draw that tile, you have to roll a blue die for which era you're in. We're in the first one, so he only gets 1. And the number of books, so I rolled 3 books, is probably the worst you could possibly roll for him. So he's going to be green. He's going to go up 3 books, and I want to be ahead of him at the end of this round so that I can collect 2 victory points. If not, I don't get any. So it's kind of just, it's going to be tough with rolling these. So I'm going to need to figure out where I am and if I'm able to compete, because I'm going to need at least 4 books to get ahead of him. So next thing we do is we take these tiles and we're going to fill up the first 3 rows, not 4. 4 you would use in a 2-player or more game. And we're going to see what sort of developments we can purchase on our turn. So they come in a couple different flavors. So you've got these blue ones, which really just give you more dice, depending on what they are. So the red die here is like the war die, so you get more swords. The orange or yellowish die is going to give you either more money or more food, and the blue die is for rolling books and stones. You start with 5 generic common pool die, the white die, and you also get these chips, so you get 1 gold and 1 reroll token. So we could use those at any point in our turn. Instead of dice, we'll roll our starting hand and see what we get. So I've rolled 2 stone, which stone's really necessary to build wonders, which we could potentially do. I've got 1 food, 1 war token, and a gold. What I typically like to do is kind of push these off to the side for the ones I want to use to satisfy the mission. So I know that'll get me 2 victory points. These 2 stone I may or may not need, but I think to To start us off, we're looking at the cost. So you've got 3 rows of cost. So everything in the first row is 1 times whatever the cost is. Second row is 2 times. Third row is 3 times. So this is a gold. That's a gold. That's a 1 war. Which would be times 2. So it'd be 2 war. Anything in this row is 2 times. So this would be 3 swords, 3 gold, or 3 swords. These green tiles are colonies. So basically, you take over that land, and they'll give you whatever's indicated here. So I would get like a gold token. So for my first play, I think I'm going to go right ahead and purchase... See, Stonehenge isn't bad. That's going to give me 3 victory points at the end, and it only costs me 1 stone to build, so that's kind of good to get if I get that early on. I think I'll do it, this is what's tough about this game. You have very limited resources, and you really can't do everything. You kind of want to get dice early, because they help out, especially the war dice. I like them. So, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to purchase this elephant. So this elephant is going to get me 1 additional red die, right? So the way that works is I would put it over one of my existing developments, and you would have to you're forfeiting the die that's on that development. So I'm going to have to forfeit a white die. And that white die can come from my unused or my used pool. So obviously I'm going to use the used pool. So I spent my die, but I do get a red die in return, and I get to roll that right now and use it. So I got two more swords. So I've taken my action. I only get to do 1 before the opponent gets to roll his 4-sided die. So he rolls a 2, and the way that works is you go to the column 2, and he takes the cheapest development item. So he pulls that off the board, so now that's gone, which is sad because I would have liked that one. Okay, so now it's back to me. I get to go, so what do I want to do? I've got 2 stone, a gold, 2 swords, and a reroll. So I will probably, I guess what I could do is purchase I'm going to purchase the Hanging Gardens. This is kind of tough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this one, and what this is going to do is this is a wonder. It cost me a gold. It's going to cost me 1 stone to build it on my next turn, but I will get a food token, from as long as this thing is for the rest of the game, basically. So that goes here. It's not built yet, so I don't get the bonus from it. But that's the end of my turn. So my opponent goes, he rolls a 4. There's nothing in the 4th row. He doesn't do anything. Now, if you want to make this harder, you could re-roll every time he gets a 4 until he hits 1, 2, or 3, so that he's pulling more off the board. I'm not great at this game, so I'm not even going to go there yet, but that's just something to keep in mind if you want to boost the difficulty. But like I said, you're really just trying to get victory points in this game. So I'm going to go and I'm going to spend on my turn my stone, and that's going to move the Hanging Gardens over here, and so now that wonder is built, I get an extra food token. And what that's going to do is now I'm going to use that to pay at the end, so I can potentially re-roll this die if I so choose. So that's my action. Rolls a 1, he pulls Stonehenge off the board, so that's gone now. My turn. I think I want to re-roll these, at least these 2. What can I do here? Alright, let's go for it. I'm going to re-roll these 2 die. I'm going to keep... You know what? Let me roll these 3. I'm going to roll my 3 white die over, and we'll see what we get here. Alright, so I got a food, a stone, and a gold. I can't afford anything with my gold. And now my reroll is actually my action, so I'm gonna let him go now. He rolls a 1, he pulls the aqueduct off. So he's really eating away at the board, and that's really not good at all. What can I do? Alright, so what you can do now, since I don't have enough gold to really do anything, you can trade in 2 unused white die, or 2 unused die, to get any symbol back. So I'll trade in these 2 to get back 1 gold. I'll use it in conjunction with this 1 gold for 2 gold and buy an advisor. The advisor I've chosen is Hatshepsut. and she gives me one reroll token. So you can only have one advisor at a time, but I will get a reroll token, and that might be helpful next turn. Roll the die. He rolls a 4, does nothing. So right now I've got my sword, my food, and a reroll. I think I'm going to call it. So we'll end the round here. There's nothing more I can do. I'm going to use those to satisfy the mission for this round. So I'll just clear the board of the rest of these. So basically I've given up on those. And we go down the sort of the cleanup, right? So you've got, your turns. You can do the new tiles, the event. So that's the event. For your action, you can buy a tile, you can build a wonder, you can reroll. So you've seen all that. Now we're going to produce and score books. I've got no books, so it'll be whatever I've got unused over here. I don't have any books unused, so I don't get any more books. He's still ahead of me, so I do not get my 2 victory points this round, which kind of stinks, but what can you do? The next thing would be famine. So famine is on the event, so to satisfy famine you need at least 1 unused food, and I've done that, so I get a victory point. Player order only applies when you do anything above a 1-player game, so 2-player, 3-player, 4-player. You would then, whoever's got the most combat out or most war out unused becomes the first player. War, again another event. If I have 1 sword, 1 war, I've got 2. You don't get to count it twice, you only get to do it once, so I get 1 victory point. So I made a whopping 2 victory points in that first round, and that ends the cleanup. So I clear my board, reset everything, get rid of this event, and now we'll draw event number 2. So we've got 3 famine and 2 war. So that's something to think about while we're going through. I'm going to put the tiles out, but he first gets to roll 2 blue die to see how many books he gets. And he gets 1 additional book. So he's up to 5 books now. So I'm going to need to do some serious reading to catch up. But I'll reset the board, get the new tiles out, so these are much better. I get a lot more dice. So I've got to hit these pretty hard this time. Okay, so a new advisor, 1 new wonder, and a whole bunch of items to build here. So I'll start out by rolling up my dice, see what I got to spend here. So I've got 2 war, a stone, 2 gold, plus a gold, a reroll, and some more food. So what I'll do right off the bat, I think, is spend 1 gold to get the windmills. And the windmills are going to give me 2 dice. So I'm going to get a yellow and a white die. So I will put that here. I will forfeit 1 of my white dice, but in return, I get a yellow and a white die. So basically I kept my white die. And you get to roll these and use them in this round. So 2 gold and a sword. Alright, so I've got 3 swords, which is kind of overkill. I don't need that many. So I'm definitely going to re-roll that. But I've got a lot of gold. Let's let him go and see what he takes. So he rolled a 4. He takes nothing. Good. My turn. So he gave me an opening here. So what can I buy? I'd like to get a blue die so I can start rolling some books. And that's going to cost me 2 gold. So I will use these 2 for my 2 gold. I will take Madrasa, and that's going to give me a blue and a white die. Again, I will forfeit my white, but in return I get back a blue and a white. So we'll roll these up. We got 2 books and a sword. I got a lot of swords going on here. Definitely in need of a reroll. He rolls a 2, so he takes the cheapest one in row 2. So he conquered Prussia. And I don't get to do that now. So what do I want to do? So the thing about re-rolling is when you re-roll, you basically forfeit your turn, and that hurts. But I think I'm gonna re-roll. I'm gonna roll all of my white dice and my red, and we got a whole bunch of garbage in return. So I've got 2 food, 3 food actually, and that's enough to satisfy the event. 1 sword, an extra book, so I've got 3 books. That'll help. stone that I don't need, but let's see what he does. It's not kind of, so you rolled a 4. I'm getting really lucky on these rolls. Alright, I'm going to go and spend 2 gold and buy a knight. So I'll get another red and white die. So I don't have a white die up here, so I'm going to have to forfeit one. I'll forfeit my stone. And in return, I'll get back a red and a white. And I roll 2 swords and 1 sword. So all I need is 2 swords to satisfy the event. I've got my 3 food and my 2 swords, so I think I'm going to keep that and re-roll the rest of these. I'll keep those 3 books, but I am going to re-roll these 2 swords. Maybe. We'll see what happens here. So he rolls a 1, yeah. See, I was seeing if he didn't conquer England, I would have taken England, but of course he did, because that's how the computer plays, or the, I don't know what you want to call him, robot, card, dice man. Alright, so, dice man. I think I'm going to re-roll, because there's no more colonies up here for me to conquer, so these 2 extra swords are really not doing anything for me. So let's see what I can pull here. So I got 2 gold. That's actually good if he doesn't kill my longships. So, not a 3. Not a 3. He rolls a 4. Thank you. Alright, so I will pay 2 gold to get the longships. Pay my 1 white die, get back a white and a red. Roll these up. We get a sword and a food. That's, again, with the sword and the food. I don't think I can do much of anything else. So let me see here. I need 3 war. Got that. I mean, I only need 2 war. 3 food. I've got 2 extra die. Can this help me in any way? No. Alright, I'm going to have to end the round, so no point in rolling for him because I'm not doing anything else, so I'm done. I don't think that was necessarily a bad round, but it could have probably gone better. Maybe I got a lot of dice left over. So, that's done. Let's go back and start the cleanup. So, score books. So, I've got 3 books. I will score 1, 2, 3 books. I don't get my 2 points, but I've closed the gap. Famine. 3 food. I've got more than enough food to satisfy that, so I get 2 victory points. And war. 2 war, got that, get 2 more. 1, 2. Alright, so that ends that round. Clean this up. On to age 3. So we'll take that away. We'll pull the next event, which is 3 famine and 5 swords. So that's going to be a tough one. We will roll him his 3 dice to see how many books he scores, and he scores 3 books. Not terrible. 1, 2, 3. So I've got to get some blue dice to help me through this. And I really need to get building on some of these wonders, because that's where you really score the points. Alright, there's some pretty good stuff up here. So now, these items, as we're getting towards the end of the game, you'll see a lot more victory point scores for certain tiles, where in the beginning there were none. Alright, let's roll our first hand. Alright, so we've got a lot of swords, we've got some books, a lot of books, a lot of swords, not a lot of gold, stone. Okay, so what can we do here? I think what we'll do is, yeah, this is going to be tough. I really need these. Oof. Do I want more? What do I want? This is the thing about this game. It's tough to make these choices. I don't have a lot of gold here. Alright, so I'm going to, I'll pay a gold and buy, it's the only gold besides the 3 I have, buy you. So now I'm going to replace these windmills, right? So these are what I had. I'm going to be replacing them with terrace farming. So essentially I'm forfeiting a white die to get an extra gold die now. So it's not as beneficial as it was. I'll get rid of one of my books take a gold die, roll it, and I get 2 food out of it. That's actually not bad. That satisfies my food, so my food is done. Let's let him go. Let's hope he doesn't take too much here. He rolls a 1, so he took the frigate, which is 2 red die, which would have been nice. Would have been nice. Well, see, what I didn't say was also, you actually forfeit the white and the gold, but you get back 2 gold. So actually I probably should have re-rolled this other gold, since I had to forfeit it and I didn't use it. That was kind of dumb of me. Why didn't I do that? I should have used it. Alright, no matter. Alright, so that gives me 2 gold, which isn't bad. I think what I'll do is I'll spend 2 gold to buy the observatory. We'll replace the madrasa, so I have to get rid of yet another white and a blue to get back 2 blues. Roll them up. I roll the book and 2 stones. His turn. He rolls a 2, so he kills. Oh, he stole Montezuma. Montezuma. Alright, my turn. I've got so much war here, but it's not very good. I'm going to hold on to these 2 stones. Actually, I'll hold on to these 3 stones. And I'm going to roll these 5 dice over again. So I'm going to do a re-roll. And let's see what we get here. Wow, that was even worse. Even worse. Let's see what this guy does. He rolls a 3. I knew he was going to take that. Took the next wonder. Damn, he's killing me. This guy's really killing me. I'd love to get this 5. This 5 bonus, but I'm rolling terrible on these swords. I'm going to do another reroll. I'll roll this blue as well. This is my last reroll. Alright, finally got some swords, but not enough. Let's see what he does. So he rolls a 4, he doesn't pull. Alright, so I've got 2 gold, 2 swords, and 2 swords. And a lot of stones. So I can not really do much here. Now you can't trade two dice in for a sword, that's the only thing. So there's, no matter what, I'm not going to hit that bonus, so I might as well spend these swords now and get some of these colonies. So I'll take the Aztec Empire and get a gold. Let him go. He rolls a 2. There's nothing there, so he's not taking nothing. I'll spend my second 2 swords and get Brazil. So I've just conquered Brazil, and I took a stone token. He rolls a 4, he does nothing. I've got 3 gold, so I am going to buy the Kremlin. It's going to cost me 3 stone to build that, but it's worth 3 victory points. And once I build it, I get a sword. I do have the stone to build it. He rolls a 4, does nothing. I will pay 3 stone, build the Kremlin, collect a sword token, and basically I think I'm done. So we're finished here, and we'll count up what we've got. So we start with producing the books. So I've got 2 books. Still behind him again. He's really killing me on the books. We'll go to famine. Famine costs 3 food. I've got 3 food. I get 3 victory points. 1, 2, 3. War, I only have 1, so I'm not getting it this round. So that ends the 3rd age. Clean that up. Pull these off the board. I don't have a ton of dice, which is going to hurt me, I think, but we'll pull the first event. So the first event for The fourth age are 3 food, which is good, that's low, and 6 war, which is extremely high. We get to roll 4 dice for him, 4 blues, to see where his books go. His final book tally, I think he just knocked it out of the park on this one, so he gets 7 books. Alright, so I'm going to give up on books, I think. There's just no way I'm catching him. Let's seed the table here. So we've got a South Pole Expedition, Congo, the Titanic, MIT, or is that MIT? I'm not sure. Marie Antoinette, an urban center, Algeria. Oh shoot, I put too many. Okay, you know what, we'll just shift everybody over. Remember, we're only taking up 3 rows here. Boom. Alright. And Big Ben, Parliament. Alright, let's roll. And see what we get. Lots of dice. Oh man, a lot of food here. I don't need all this food. I really don't. Okay. Alright, well now I know I'm not going to go for books. So I'm definitely re-rolling you. I'm re-rolling you. Re-rolling all this food. I don't need all this food. I only need 3 food. I've already got 1 food chip. So it's really kind of just need 2. I could keep these 2 and then re-roll all of this when I have a chance. Now you'll notice that none of these tiles in the fourth age have dice. So whatever dice you've got up until this point, you're pretty much it for dice. So everything here is going to be worth victory points, and you want to scoop them up pretty quickly. So I could score 5 victory points if I were to build the South Pole Expedition, 8 victory points if I could build the Suez Canal, but that's going to cost me 6 stone, and I only have 5 stone. Should I go for the stone and try to build the Suez Canal for 8? That's actually quite good. Or I could build each of these and it would cost me 7 stone, but it'll be 9 victory points. So 1 less stone. 1 less stone. So you know what? I'm going to go for it that way, I think. We'll play smart here. Yeah. And then I'll grab the Congo if it's still out there. So let's buy the South Pole Expedition for 1 gold. And I'm going to need to try and build that next turn. So let's see what he does. He rolls a 1. So he just conquered Algeria. This guy's not wasting any time. So we will pay. I have 4 stone. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 stone. And I will build my South Pole Expedition. I get nothing for it but victory points, but I get quite a few. I'll take it. He rolls a 2. He just conquered the Congo, so he's basically taking every opportunity away from me. So I will grab the Titanic, I believe, for 1 gold. It's going to cost me 3 stone that I don't have, so I'll have to do some re-rolling next round, and that's fine. He just took away my urban center. Alright, so we're going to re-roll all of these. And we were looking for stone, and we didn't get it. Now I need 6 war, so I rolled 3 war. That's not a bad roll, if I can hold on to that. I've got 1 stone, 2 more war, 3 gold. That 3 gold's going to come in handy, so let's see what he does here. He rolls a 1, so he's not doing anything. I've got 3 gold. I can buy one of these. So do I want to buy Marie Antoinette, or do I want to save up and buy... I don't think I'm going to have enough stone to build another. I don't even know if I have enough stone to buy the Titanic, so I think it's best if I just buy Marie Antoinette, put her here, get rid of this. I lose my reroll for that, but I think I needed to scoop her off the board. So let's see what he's going to do. He rolls a 4, he doesn't do anything. I'm going to do another reroll, and reroll all of these, and hope. Well, I'm going to keep that stone. No, I can't. I'm gonna roll them all. I'm gonna roll them all. Oh, okay. So I've got 2 stone. Alright, this is what I'm gonna do. I'll show you next round. I think I can build it. He rolls another 4. So I've got my 6 war here for the event, so that's good. I've got 2 stone. I need 1 more. I can turn in both of these basically to get a stone. So 1 stone plus 2 is 3 stone, and I build the Titanic. Only to watch it sink. But I got 4 victory points for that, so that's all that matters. 3, he would kill this, but I am going to pass because I've got nothing else going on here. I'm out of dice. I'm going to end it. So let's go to final scoring. So let me clean up the board and see where this thing landed. So again, we're going to count up books, and we definitely don't have the books to do it, right? So I'm not going to get another 2 points. So 4 rounds, that's 8 victory points I gave up for not beating him on the books. So you can see it adds up, but you got to have a lot of blue dice if you want a lot of books, and you're kind of forfeiting stones to build these. But anyway, let's go down the list. So famine, 3 food. I've got my 3 food here. So I get 4 victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4. War, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4 more victory points. Now I add up all the victory points on what I've been able to build or conquer. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus 5 is 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I finished at 34. Aye. Where does that put us? 34 victory points. I know every 5 victory points is the next, so every one of these gold ones is like the next level. So 34 puts me at the Saladin. Almost made it to Wu Zetian. Wu Zetian? Wu Zetian? Wu. There's only 50 is the top, so the Trajan. This is definitely the best I've done. I typically fall in the Victoria range, or somewhere in the 25, between 25 and 30. So 34, I think this is actually my best game. Didn't feel like I was going to do it, but it kind of came down to the wire. But you see, that's it. That's all there is to it. This was it's down and dirty. It's quick. Even the 2-player game. I played a couple of 2-player games with my boys, and it's quick. It's very fast. Maybe like 40 minutes tops. Just the rounds go very quickly. You roll the dice, and you just buy stuff. And every game plays differently because it depends on where the technologies are and what sort of dice you end up buying. So if you get a lot of war, you start doing more conquering. You start always fulfilling these events, and that's where the points just start racking up and start adding in. If I would have gotten that other 8 points if I had the books, but he was rolling pretty high books. That would have put me in the 40 range easily. I gave up 8 points. But that was it. Down and dirty. Nations the Dice Game. I really hope you enjoyed the playthrough, and as always, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.